Hey traders, TG Watkins here. Let's see, it is July 17th when I'm recording this, and welcome to your Daily 5. So the first couple of things that I wanted to show are the internals, breadth, and looking at this. The market has been doing well, and it is broad-based, and it's not just the 7 biggest stocks. It's actually been doing really well. So this is the number of stocks over their 20-day, over their 50-day, and over their 200-day simple moving averages. And what we can see is that the stocks over their 20-day, even though they've kind of peaked out, they've been trending sideways. So this is a sustaining type indication. We've seen before where they kind of come up and peter out, and they come up and peter out. This is holding. Now, at some point, the market is going to get a little bit overbought, and we should see this thing start to diverge and come down, even though the market's still up. So, at some point, we're going to see a little bit of a rotation or refresh pullback like that. So don't be too surprised there. The other thing is that we've been seeing overall the stocks over their 50-day continue to move up. And yes, we have seen this before, but we haven't seen it this strong since December, January. And that's also pretty awesome. And then the stocks over their 200-day SMA have also been trending up. And this is almost the highest reading. The only time it was better was January. And that was a bit of a flash in the pan. Really big move. It still took the market a little while to pull back after that and refresh. But overall, this is looking pretty good. And it all started right around here, which was when the debt ceiling got resolved. So whether that was the actual trigger or just happened to be the timing, the market seemed to really like that and has triggered since then. Now, some of the other stuff we can look at are some individual, the ETFs. I look at the IWM because, I like to trade the small caps since I trade just stock. And this is a really good thing because it also shows that the market is starting to broaden out. We're starting to see a lot of other stocks start to participate. What that looks like is, yes, we were in a bear market for 2 years, but of those 2 years, 1 year was basically spent with a lot of stocks going down. The second year were a lot of stocks going sideways. It's basically what the IWM did. It went down for a year, then sideways for a year. That equals 2. And right now we are starting to, on even a weekly basis, we're starting to see the IWM really start to participate and engage and hold certain moving averages and do well with that. We could also see here we flagged for a little bit on the daily chart. Here's your Moxie price trigger. That's what helped set this thing up. And you can see the Moxie indicator has been solid ever since. And we even now have a breakout based on the cooler CPI reading that we had last week. So this is all really, really good. And then also as far as the Moxie indicator goes, here was the double bottom and there was some positive divergence and the Moxie price trigger right on cue. So if you guys, have seen my videos and like this kind of stuff, and this is what I try to show, come pick up the Moxie indicator. You can get it over at Stock Charts as clearly. And, we keep adding to it, updating it, and it's a great tool. And we get a lot of compliments about it. So here's another thing. We can look at TOST. And the thing I've been seeing about this is, again, kind of talking about, what have we been experiencing for the last 2 years, right? Well, you see something like this. Now, TOST debuted in, looks like 2021. And that's pretty much when the top of the market was, that things really started rolling over and going down. So there are a ton of names that look like this that either, came out during the bear market or at the top of the market or something like that, and they just got demolished. And so you could see that for a year, a lot of these names just really, really got hammered, went down. They're fairly easy to trade to the short side if you wanted to, but then things changed. They kind of reached an equilibrium. They apparently found what they wanted to be as their lows. The market or firms, hedge funds, whatever. The market decided, hey, this is actually a fair price. For TOST, let's call it 15 or 20 bucks. Fair price. And firms and stocks and other people and hedge funds and whatever started to buy this, or at least they stopped selling it. They said, probably the risk to reward ratio on the short side is not there anymore. So they stopped selling it. And then what they did is they started to accumulate this. And this goes back to the 4 phases of what a stock market is, And we're dealing with this in here, and you can see that, it's just bouncing all over the place. And if you're trying to trade this as a swing trader, it's really tough. These moves were all over the place. Nothing was really trending. You had a couple days here and there of good stuff, but it was really for day traders because this is all just chop. But if you look at the big picture, what was it doing? It was building a base. It was just going sideways. It was done going down. You could see the Moxie indicator was coming up like this, and it was really just a matter of time until these things started to take off. And there were a couple fits and starts. We saw a couple moves like this, but then they started to actually work. And this is what we're noticing now. And you can see here we are right at the top, just itching to break out. Now, it may break out right now, or it might still need a little bit more time. Either way, it looks like a pretty good stock on a longer term basis. And you can see that even after a little bit of resting, they're continuing to move up. And this is good stuff. The Moxie indicator continues to be above zero and continues to trend up. Absolutely fantastic. And then you can see here, there was a double bottom and positive divergence on the Moxie indicator. And look at that Moxie price trigger. I mean, that thing nailed it. So we've been in this name since down here. I think that's about $18, $19. We sold some off right there at the top because that was the previous high. And then we bought back in here and we sold a little bit more there. I mean, this has been a perfect play for something like this. And now I'm really just kind of waiting for this thing to kind of come back in or go sideways and find another add point that I want to get back in and add more to this. And the Moxie indicator has been all over this thing. So again, really great tool. We get a lot of compliments and hope you guys find it useful if you pick it up too. So let's see, here's another one. I just want to show you Grab. Now, Grab, I think this is I want to say it's India, but basically it's the same thing as DoorDash, just over in, not America. And, we look at this, or at least I think about this, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, if this stock is going to do well, then what does that say about our economy, our global economy? Because if people are spending money on food delivery, then it sounds like they probably have excess cash or disposable income or something like that, because it would seem like this would not be a name that would succeed if the economy is not doing well. Same with DoorDash. So look up Dash. They're both kind of doing the same thing. But we can see that in 2021 and 2022, yes, everything got just murdered and demolished and just absolutely repriced. But eventually it found its footing. And notice there's your double bottom. And yes, it had a couple moves. They had some spurts and whatever. But they really couldn't do anything. They couldn't really break out like that. Now, I don't know if this is going to break out, but it's sure looking better. The difference is, look at the Moxie indicator way up here. And, all the moving averages, they went from being in a downtrend like this to at least flat. And now we should be starting to see these things come up. So this looks pretty good, looks healthy, looks constructive. And again, you can see here was the flag into support on the daily time frame, and it's continuing to move up. In fact, it's up today. So yeah, start looking around at these names. I think this, again, is looking very, very interesting. And if you guys kind of like what I'm talking about here, then let me show you just a couple more slides, a YouTube video that I put out a month ago that started calling this stuff out. And then the other thing that might be from a macro perspective that could be helping either the market or precious metals. Notice that GDX, gold, silver, they all popped last week. And this was something that I was guiding the Moxie traders into, basically the subscribers to my trading room. And part of what was calling me into those trades was the dollar. Now, if we look at the dollar, I can see here on a monthly time frame, and this is what I've been talking about to my subscribers, is that price got under a downtrending monthly 10. It's the blue line. You can see the 10 SMA started to roll over, and I was like, hey, this looks like price is going to be not going to be able to get past this. It's going to get rejected, and it's going to come back down. And that's exactly what has been happening. And you can then see here, right on time, there's the Moxie price trigger to the downside. And you can see price was getting rejected by the weekly 50, and the Moxie indicator was below zero. So yet again, seeing a lot of these things really start to work out well and behave and just make sense now. So things seem like they're trending well, whether it's bullish or bearish on whatever ticker we need. So I do think that the down dollar is going to be helpful to the market and especially precious metals. So thank you for watching. That is your Daily 5. Remember, I've got this slide right here. If you guys are interested, come over to Profit Pilot YouTube or Simpler Trading's YouTube and look up Market Update Broadening Market Strength from me. We did this about a month ago, and I was really on it trying to say, hey, I think things are doing well. I think we're seeing strength out there, and I wanted to make sure that people knew it out there. So if you like how I talk about the market, if you like how I see things and how I communicate it and teach it, come on over to simplertrading.com, sign up for the Moxie room, and you can also pick up the indicator at StockCharts.com. So yeah, go check that stuff out. And if you want to guys follow me on Facebook and Instagram or anything else like that, see what I'm up to in my life, which it's summertime, lots of travel going on, lots of activity. So come on over here. You can check out the socials, and I do appreciate it. We'll see you guys at the next one.